Hello everyone, Hello 大家好，歡迎嚟到美港天下。Dennis 頻道啦，等少少，等嗰個 channel 出到去，亦都希望咧多啲人入嚟留言啦。At the first section, probably I will use English because I have the video to show everyone. I have to make sure. I'm trying to make sure. Make sure 有聲先，大家唔該睇下有冇聲，話俾我知收唔收到。Can you hear me? Is the voice? Is there a voice? I'm checking the voice now. Okay, good. There's a voice already. So the first part, I'm going to show everyone. Hopefully, I can show a lot of people about what happened to America first. Before we talk about the Hong Kong political prisoner. Okay, the first from the cover page, probably you can see I have left side is Jimmy Lai, and the right side for people from Hong Kong, probably they don't know who he is, and they probably don't know what is a power boy, and what is a power boy has to do with political prisoner. Okay, so that's why I have to show the people what happened, and regarding about the political prisoner in Hong Kong and the political prisoner in United States. And let me start the interview. Start the interview that we had with the Power Boy chairman, and the second part will be about what is a Power Boy, how they get started, who are they? Instead of if you listen to if people listen to mainstream media, they probably think Power Boy is a bad guy, racist, and all kind of bad thing. Okay, so
we're very glad to meet the chief of Proud Boys here with us. I have to snatch him for a quick interview. On the conservative side, we receive some of the information about Proud Boys. We know that they're good people. However, on other group discussion, I see that they've been spreading fake news about Proud Boys, or they have crisis actors to mix within the Proud Boys to pretend to be white supremacists and spread the news and smear you guys. And we'd like to know more about the Proud Boys.
Okay, so simply said, there is a lot of imitators, but this isn't a movement, it's not an idea, it's an organization, it's a fraternity. So we have membership, we have leadership, we have international leadership with chapters in countries like Hong Kong, Japan, South Korea, Brazil, Canada. But what the Proud Boys are is very simply, it's a group of men that love America or love the country that they're in, and they're willing to stand up and fight for it. Now, that doesn't mean physically fight, because people think that we're all we do is fight, which is not true. The media portrays us in this negative light. We're people that aren't afraid to defend ourselves, and we're people that are constitutionalists, we're people that are conservative, and we want to see this country do better. Almost all of our members are Trump supporters. We've been supporters of President Trump since day one. And me, myself, I've campaigned for Trump. I've knocked on, in 2016, I knocked on 40,000 doors for the president. And, again, we're just a simple group of guys. If people would report on us accurately, we would probably we'd be a boring story for the media. Because if it's just a drinking club and people who stand up, then I don't think it's a story for them.
A lot of Proud Boys, they're skilled with arms. They
Yes.
Recruited through Army, police, like the background. What's the background of the Proud Boy members?
So even though we don't have a lot of police officers and a lot of veterans and Marines, you're not required to be part of the armed services at all. All we do is we ask you to come out at least once every couple months to drink a beer with us. You don't have to be an activist. There's a lot of Proud Boys that are activists, and we're very loud about it. But the only prerequisite is that you're a man and you believe that the West is the best, Western civilization.
What's the original, when is it formed? Oh, what's
We were-
how was it started?
We were established in June of 2016 as a joke on Gavin McInnes's show. And our name, a lot of people think that the name comes from Proud Boy. It actually comes from, it's funnier than that. It actually comes from an Aladdin musical. Yes. We were a joke. It wasn't supposed to go past the first meet, and it did. And we're not much of a joke anymore, are we?
No, not at all. You guys face a very harsh smear.
We do.
I just understand. I just learned from you that you're not allowed to use Facebook.
Yes.
Your account's been closed.
Mm-hmm.
And so do they do that to all the Proud Boys? Or
yes. So Proud Boys are not allowed on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. It's a silencing of conservatives that we're seeing with big tech, and that's something that we fight. But what's your name?
My name is Mikami.
Mikami. So Mikami, I want to tell you something. We figured out that we don't need social media to enact change. We're dope in real life.
How do we find Proud Boys on the internet?
So we are on 2 social media platforms. One is Telegram. You can find me at Noble Leader. You can find the Proud Boys on Telegram at Proud Boys USA. And you can also find us on Parler at The Proud Boys, and you can find me at Noble Lead on Parler too.
When was Proud Boys censored from social media?
2.5 years ago.
Oh my goodness. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
May I learn your name, please?
My name's Enrique Tario, and I am the chairman of the Proud Boys.
Thank you very much, Enrique.
Thank you.
Good to have you.
In 1840, when Alexis de Tocqueville came here, he said, "America is a nation of clubs." He was coming from a nation of homos called France. But outside of that weak province, the West was a nation of clubs. The Knights of Columbus, the Know-Nothings, the Shriners. We always had these clubs, and Gloria Steinem decreed them sexist in the 80s, and that was the end of clubs. So I thought, why don't we bring this back? Why don't we have a men's club? No parameters, just dudes. You have to be born male, by the way. And believe it or not, that has actually come up. I've had bull dykes come and go, "Can I be part of this?" Sorry, no. Why not? We're never going to use this. And I go, yeah, just go to the Proud Boys girls and you'll be the most masculine one there as opposed to the most feminine man that we have in our club. Anyway, I gave away the name. But I started a men's club called the Proud Boys, and we have one caveat, and that is you have to be a Western chauvinist. Now, liberals are lazy, so they hear the word chauvinist and they assume male chauvinist, and that's why I use that word, because they're too lazy to look it up, and it just means a nationalist, a patriot. And you have to think the West is the best. And it exploded. There's thousands of members all over the world. There's Proud Boys Africa, there's Proud Boys Japan. We've got about 5 different divisions in Australia, and I just made it up. Like we're called Proud Boys because I went to one of my kids' music recitals, and some ponce got up there, and while everyone's playing the piano and the violin and doing stuff they tried, he gets up and he goes, "Proud of your boy, I'll make you proud of your boy." It's some song from Aladdin. And I was looking around for the dad because I thought there's no way this dad is proud of his boy, and of course, he was the child of a single mom. Duh. His mother told him, "Yeah, sing a song, that's a talent." And there was no dad to say, "No, you're not. Play the piano, for Christ's sake." So we made up these rules. There's, just like the Knights of Columbus, there's 1st degree, 2nd degree, 3rd degree. What's the 2nd degree, Gav? And I went, you have to get beaten up by 5 men. For how long? Until you can name 5 breakfast cereals. Done. 3rd degree. What's the 3rd degree, Gav? You have to quit porn and get a tattoo. Done. It's massive. I was saying to Ann Coulter the other day, I'd love to have you come and do a talk at one of our meetups, but you're a woman. I don't know how to do that. Maybe you could wear a burqa or something. Or you could do a video. And she goes, "I don't want to come to your club. I don't want to ruin that." She goes, "My father was in these kind of clubs, and one day they just disappeared. And what did men do? They were told it was sexist to congregate, so they went to strip clubs." Now, there's women there, but there's no ladies there. And you can fart, and you don't have to pull out chairs for anyone. You can tell offensive jokes, and this is considered a crime in today's day and age. And they tell us that we're racist and we're anti-Semitic. And I go, "What about this black guy who's a member and this Jewish guy who's a member?" And they go, "They're racist and anti-Semitic." "So this black guy's a white supremacist?" "Yes, he is." "Well, that's handy. He can just sit at home and punch himself in the face all day." Like, I used to call it fake news, then I called it crazy news. It's crazy ex-girlfriend news. And these liberals are like, they're psychotic, calling black guys racist and Ben Shapiro a Nazi. I'm scared of them. I'm scared of them like a drunk chick. You know how she's just on right at any moment, she can start scratching your face and smashing balls, and you're like, hi, you should probably get a cab at some point. That's how we are with the left. And I did a talk at NYU, and they said, okay, what you're doing over there is obviously very dangerous. What? I'm just doing a speech that I like Trump, not Hitler. Trump is Hitler. So they go, we have a secret back door you can take, and then we'll have security escort. I go, I'm not a pedophile. I'm not there to talk about how sexy teenage boys are. I'm talking about how sexy America is. I go, no, we're going through the front. So we walk through this mob of Antifa, and we start singing, proud of your boy. And they're going, Nazi, fuck you. And I'm going, I'll make you proud. And they blast me with pepper spray. And then I'm the only one allowed in, and my guys are left to fight. And here's the crucial part. We do. We beat the crap out of them. And I couldn't see, I had been whisked in, but I talked to two of our guys who were arrested, and I go, how was that, are you okay? And they go, it was really, really fun. They said, violence doesn't feel good. Justified violence feels great. And fighting solves everything. So we said, you know what, we're not going to pick fights, but if they pick fights with us, we're going to finish them. And so we go to Deplorable, and they had published a hit list of people they're going to kill, basically. They don't want to hurt us, they don't want to silence us, they want us dead. So I notice I'm on this list, and I see them talking on their phone saying, yeah, they're coming down now. And I think, we're in a climate where it's just such a given that the right is evil and the right are all Nazis. They can just sit there and talk on their phones about how they're going to get us. Yeah, here he is, he's walking. So I grab that guy's phone, I throw it away, I just lick his face. And I shove him. And he's like, did you just lick me? And then I start marching into the, and they're throwing feces. They're like monkeys. They're throwing feces at us and bottles of urine. And we have tuxedos on. It's a ball. So we're like, you're disgusting, sir. And then this kid walks in front of me with an anarchist flag, and I shove him out of the way, and he goes, do you want to go? And I go, yes, actually, I would. And I smash him in the face. And I cut my knuckles on his teeth because he was so shocked that someone was punching back. So the face I punched was going, boom. And off to the ball we go. And I talked to Anne about it, actually, afterwards, and she goes, I was so elated to see that punch, because it went viral. And she said, conservatives never punch back. And I thought, how bizarre it is that this is a revolutionary act, having a men's club. They used to be ubiquitous, and now it's some sort of terrorist threat. And it's considered so shocking to want to defend yourself. I was talking to a New York Times reporter, Alan Foyer, and he said, have you ever considered just sitting there and taking the beating? That would be a great statement. No. I'm not doing that. You can do that. I'm not a freedom rider. And these people that we're up against aren't a bunch of rednecks from the 60s. These are crazy ex-girlfriends. You look at the things that get confiscated by the cops, like the Portland Antifa, and there's a knife that's a T-shape. Like, a normal knife isn't good enough for you? You need a T-grip to really get into my jugular and cut my head off? No wonder you're in bed with ISIS. No wonder the far left is so happy to join jihadists in their crusade to burn America to the ground. You're deranged. Trump derangement syndrome is real. So it's sort of like the trans bathrooms where you say, why do you think it's such a big deal that someone else is in your bathroom? I go, it's not a big deal, but I'm going to stay and fight it. It's like if you said you were me. That doesn't really bother me, but I'm not going to let you do that. You're not me. So I'm not playing your game. And if you think it's a revolutionary act to have a men's club, okay, it's a revolutionary act. If you want to come and attack me and pepper spray me and fight me, and they do every day. I mean, just yesterday, one of our guys in the Vancouver Proud Boys goes to take a pee. He's alone. 4 Antifa jump in there with baseball bats. They mash up his face. He's alone. And he comes out and he says to the staff, you called them, didn't you? And she goes, I don't know, maybe. And she goes, call the cops. And she says, no. And she goes, you make me feel unsafe with this black and yellow shirt. And then the story came out just while I was over there. Ezra showed me on his phone, and it said, Proud Boys make staff of bar feel unsafe. Yeah, the guy with his face hanging off made you feel unsafe. Sorry about that. Won't happen again. But instead of being thwarted by all this conflict, we find it kind of inspiring. It's kind of fun. These people are so soft after being placated for all of Obama's term that they're easy prey. When we fought these guys, these Antifa kids in New York, who are all just professors' sons, who are Marxists because Daddy told them to, I mean, it feels sexist to beat them up, because when you punch them, it feels like a girl. Their faces just cave in. It's like paper mache. In fact, one of our guys we nicknamed Friar Tuck, he said, I felt bad as I was plowing through them. It's only fun to beat up the first three. The subsequent ones chip away at your soul. So the moral of the story is, we're going to continue being normal, because that's a revolutionary act. We're going to continue being proud of ourselves. We're going to continue getting married, living in the suburbs, having kids, and loving America. And if that's a revolutionary act, then I'm a revolutionary. Thank you very much.
Hello, welcome back. So the first section I will use English. After that, I will start using my native tongue, Cantonese. And right now, I don't know how many of you are speaking English, or all of the viewer right now are Hong Konger. See my T-shirt, Hong Konger for USA. See, Enrique is the Power Board chairman. The day January 6th, he is not even in Washington D.C. and he got arrested, and he got, I think, maximum charge uh, on uh, maximum charge on erecting the Capitol. Uh, so though it really doesn't make sense to me, because the day January 6th, I'm there, a lot of people was there, and uh, we see what happened. Some people like right now the LA Los Angeles Republican Party vice chairman. He has been charged. He was in there he was in Capitol like 5 minutes to report what's going on. And then he got charged. He got raided his house. Uh, a lot of bad things happened to America. We have a lot of political prisoners, over thousands. And so, why am I bringing this up? Oh, and also, one of the million mega march that was before. It was like on December, we were there, and Antifa was trying to crush our party, and then Power Boys was there. So Power Boys was scattered around, and because I wear Hong Konger for Trump, and then I'm trying to video the situation. So I'm really standing in the front, try to video the situation and document document the situation. And I got Power Boys who take turn to come make sure we won't get hurt. So Power Boy is just, see, if they are racist, they don't even have to care. This Lhasa and I, who's like just standing there, and they have like order the upper rank someone, I don't know his name. He said, okay, because he has to leave his post to other post because Antifa coming on the other side. So they got whole bunch of people, they have to move to a different area. So he tell one of the Power Boys, look after this guy. Hong Konger for Trump. Look after this Hong Konger. So Power Boys for sure. For me, uh, for sure, I know they are not racist, and they they take care of people, you know. And then it's totally different from Antifa. Antifa is just destroying things, burning stuff, and Power Boys are protecting. We are having party, we are having singing song YMCA, and talk. Not, that's Trump rally. Everybody talking about all the stuff, uh, many stuff, many topics, and oh, where you from? Some from uh, a different part of country, and Antifa will crush the party or left. So Power Boys are not the bad person, but there are a lot of there are some Power Boys got infiltrated. We know, well, at the time had already posed some fake Power Boys. Okay, because the day of Gen 6, we know we, we already know they are going to infiltrate the group, our mega group, because we have people. He said, "Oh, watch out for people who has their head turned backward, and mega people don't wear masks. When mega people don't mega people, uh, and you can see that day if you see someone who wear a mask, probably 90% they are Antifa, they are infantry. So that's the Gen 6. That's what happened on Gen 6. That's what I know from Gen 6. And slowly, uh, because the Democrats stopped release the real video for us to see. So later, after Kevin McCarthy become a chairperson and start releasing some more video, and we see a lot of videos saying Trump talking about uh, 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 peace, telling everyone to be peace, you know, peaceful protest. Okay, and and so that is the that is the day. Okay, and now that's Jan 6, 2021 about the political prisoner in United States. I really need to make sure the Hong Kong people know about that. Okay, because we are now asking the United States government to support, to help us. So we got to ask the right person for the help. We don't want to ask the one who arrest political prisoner. That will be it, that doesn't make sense. Okay, period. Okay, so that's why hopefully the Hong Konger knows what's really going on, and the after this video about my interview with Chairman Powerboy Chairman and Vicky, and people hopefully also pay attention on our Gen 6 political prisoner. Help them out. We know the mainstream media never talk about it. Our mainstream media will never talk about it. So we need the Hong Kong. Later, I will explain about Hong Kong, our U.S. left media. What are they like? Compared to Hong Kong media, and okay, and I will start using Cantonese. Hopefully, okay, um, hopefully I will the Hong Kong. Hopefully they will understand. Hopefully all Hong Kongers should come join my movement, our movement. Okay, I and on this 47 political prisoner, it's not just Hong Konger posting. Uh, I have friends, the mega group, they are posting about this. They care. They care about us. Okay, the mega group care about the Hong Kong. It's not like oh the mega are racist. They, it doesn't make sense the whole thing. Whatever left media tell you that those Nancy Pelosi, Adam Schiff, all those people just you know don't listen to them. Gavin Newsom, don't listen to them. Okay, they are liar. Okay, so now I'm going to have Jimmy Lai's son interview on uh, on Fox Business. Jimmy Lyson went to almost all our media, CNN, everywhere, Fox Media. But of course, I'm going to show Fox Media because they are closer to us. Okay, and let's see.
Pro-democracy activist and Apple Daily founder Jimmy Lai taking the stand for a second day in his Hong Kong national security trial. Lai denied that he asked a colleague to draft a list of potential sanction targets in China and that he tried to influence countries' foreign policy against communist China. In a briefing yesterday, China called Lai the, quote, principal mastermind and perpetrator behind the series of riots that shook Hong Kong in 2019. Lai has been imprisoned in solitary confinement since August of 2020. If convicted, he faces up to life in prison. I spoke with Jimmy Lai about the charges against him right before they rearrested him in 2020. Watch.
Now they can trump up any offenses as a crime, and the intimidation effect is very enormous. So on the street that's very quiet. It's a silence of supplication. And also in the Legislative Council, because they DQ 4 of the pro-democratic legislators, all the pro-democratic legislators resign en masse. So we will not have a voice or any fight in the Legislative Council or any demonstration in the street. So, I'm afraid Hong Kong, if we have no news, the world will forget us.
Joining me now is businessman and the son of Jimmy Lai, Sebastian Lai, with me. Sebastian, thanks very much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
How is your father doing?
So, unfortunately, Dad's health has gotten much worse. So since that interview, he's been arrested. He's been kept in solitary confinement and maximum security prison. He doesn't get natural light. It's been 4 years. He's recently turned 77. He's got diabetes. So his health has gotten much, much worse.
So he never gets natural light. In other words, he's in a prison cell in solitary confinement, and they don't put the lights on.
Yeah, no natural light. He doesn't even get the Holy Eucharist of communion.
So he doesn't know what time it is and at any time of the day.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
It's torture. It's
torture.
torture.
Have you been able to speak with him at all?
So unfortunately, I haven't been back. I can't go back to Hong Kong, and I haven't been back in the last 4 years since they arrested my father. Because as you saw with the national security law, they now have 1,900 political prisoners, and you could get arrested for wearing the wrong T-shirt or saying just liking social media posts that they don't like.
That's unbelievable. A Hong Kong court sentenced 45 pro-democracy activists for up to 10 years in jail for participating in what the Chinese officials called an unofficial primary election for the Hong Kong City Legislature back in 2020. The CCP expanded the scope of national security laws that basically say that whatever you say against the Chinese Communist Party, whatever you say against China, it makes you eligible for jail. And that the CCP could go into any company it wants and raid the place and take whatever they want. Now police can detain suspects for up to 16 days without any charges. Sebastian, what is the future of Hong Kong?
So, Hong Kong flourished because they had all these freedoms. It was a financial center. And most people, Americans who went to Hong Kong would know that their rights, rule of law, free press, free speech, would be respected. And it's no longer a place like that. There's 1,900 political prisoners.
If you've purchased a faulty car, you can get a massive payout like this and get your entire car loan paid off
In Hong Kong for wanting democracy.
Unbelievable. Do you believe that if the CCP goes into Taiwan, it will be a similar situation?
So I don't know that much about Taiwan, unfortunately, but I know that because of what happened in Hong Kong, the Taiwanese election swung towards the DPP party, which is against getting closer to China.
I mean, Hong Kong for so long was a business international hub, right? I mean, Wall Street was looking at Hong Kong for their growth stories. They were transacting across the world through Hong Kong, and it's nothing like that today. I mean, I went to Hong Kong so many times over the years. I don't have any interest to go anymore. Is that what's happening in Hong Kong right now?
Yeah, I think most people have realized with these crackdowns, with these pro-democracy crackdowns, that Hong Kong's not the only game in only place in the world to do business. Why send your people there, their family there? From the U.S., for example, people here all agree in democratic values that underpin this free country. Why send them there if these views can make it so that they end up in jail or even just get harassed? It's not worth it.
What do you expect in the coming couple of years now that President Trump is returning to the White House? Do you think Trump will get involved in this for your father?
So President Trump, before he won the election, said on an interview with Mr. Hugh Hewitt that 100% that he will get my father out, and obviously it brings us great hope. And at this point, it's about getting him out, but also saving his life.
And what kind of policies do you think are appropriate in terms of the U.S. in dealing with communist China, given all of this?
I think in the end of the day, one has to be strong on human rights. It's not about being tough on China, not tough on China. It's about understanding that as a country, as the United States, what we stand for and holding the line.
I mean, your father rose to riches in Hong Kong from nothing and built an empire. And now he's really the face of China's crackdown on democracy. Things have changed tremendously. Can you tell us how this happened?
Yeah, so my father, landed in Hong Kong as a child refugee, and it's a beautiful self-made story of becoming incredibly successful, starting this company called Giordano, and then he knew that the additional zero on his net worth wouldn't make a difference, and so he thought, well, what can I do to protect the freedoms of this country, of this city, and he started Apple Daily because he believed that with information you gave people a choice, and with choice they had freedom. So every day he was out there, giving freedom to the people of Hong Kong with his stuff, and it was exhilarating. And
but
then
the CCP didn't like the fact that he was running a media organization.
No, they didn't like that at all. But Apple Daily was the biggest newspaper in Hong Kong, so the people of Hong Kong loved it. And when the national security law came down, Dad had a very, very clear choice. He could either leave. He's a British citizen, go to the UK and retire or campaign from abroad, or stay and defend his people. And we all know the decision he made, and I'm incredibly proud that he made that decision.
Now, a moment ago, you said, look, you can get arrested in Hong Kong if you're wearing the wrong T-shirt. So what do you want to say to those people who are thinking, well, I'm going to go to Hong Kong and drum up my business, and I'm going to speak with international customers from Hong Kong? It's a different place than what you knew.
Yeah, I think most people start businesses, and I can't speak for everybody, but there's an element of freedom, having agency on your time. And if you go to a place where you are subservient to some arbitrary law, such as the national security law, for expressing your views, I don't see how that meets your end goal of being free and self-reliant.
And the national security laws were implemented after they marched into Hong Kong and started throwing all the protesters in jail.
Yeah.
What's the most egregious national security law that China has implemented in Hong Kong, in your view?
It's incredibly wide-ranging, but it goes from the smallest things, such as like in social media posts, and what we mentioned before, to what they've done to my father. My father was a peaceful campaigner for the last 30 years, always advocated for peace, never called for Hong Kong independence, was always wanted the Hong Kong the joint declaration between Hong Kong and China to be kept and have democracy, and that's all he did for the last 30 years. And then they sent 200 journalists to raid his newspaper, arrested his colleagues, locked him up in prison for the last four years, again in solitary confinement, in completely inhumane conditions, and there's been an international call for his release, including the UN Working Group on Arbitrary Detention, which is an objective body saying that he should never have been there, he never should have been in jail in the first place, and he should be released immediately.
Wow, he's an incredible individual. We pray for him, Sebastian. Thanks very much for being here.
Thank you very much.
We so appreciate it, and if you speak with him, please tell him that we're following his story and making sure to put a spotlight on it.
Thank you.
Sebastian Lai, stay with us. We'll be right back.
所以我哋咧就真係咧係好需要多謝我哋啲美國傳媒嘅，好似Maria 啦，Maria 佢講佢會要多謝我哋啲美國傳媒啦，佢真係咧會嚟再聲援我哋香港人。咁好似黎智英講，其實都啱嘅如果我哋唔做新聞咧，呢個世界就要冇新聞咧，我哋就會被遺忘噶啦。咁咧，我哋好多時亦都好需要去做呢樣嘢。我今日真係個人原因啦， 咁真係想去嘅應該去唔到啦。咁大家就喺荷里活嗰度啦，咁就示威發聲，幫黎智英同埋幫45人而家45人啦。咁其實我好多日咧，我都好想講呢個話題嘅。其實佢哋45人俾判啦。咁咧，同埋咧，佢哋屈黎智英，佢哋屈黎智英就係屈黎智英咧，去嚟美國揾嘢去制裁即係嚟美國嚟制定政策嚟去制裁中國。咁大佬，你真係以為黎智英係咩人先得㗎？中國啲共產黨真係好睇得起佢美國點會因為聽到黎智英美國仲有美國班 lobbyist 唔係淨係得我哋香港民主運動嗰班啫喎，美國班 lobbyist 仲有班大陸共產黨喺度做 lobbyist 噶嘛。Eric Snowden 係嘛 ？Eric Snowden 咪係咯，方個 spy 方嗰件方事件嗰個咧，所以其實好多中國間諜喺華盛頓穿插。咁你話黎智英出嚟夠膽死就黎智英可以去出一啲政策去制裁中國即係講咁易咩咁所以咧有啲嘢咧就真係啲藍絲諗嘢咧，就好似頭先Powerboy 個創始人我都唔識讀佢個名Powerboy 個創始人，我哋訪問嗰個就係 Powerboys 嘅 chairman， 咁Powerboys 嘅創始人就係嗰個係一個係一個棟篤笑嘅講棟篤笑嘅人嚟嘅，講棟篤笑嘅以前咁而家咧再繼續，因為好多謝Nelson 咧，就俾咗2條片，俾咗幾條片我哋又有啲相啦，就係關於今日咧，我哋喺荷里活嗰邊嘅演講啦。咁單仲偕都喺嗰度，單仲偕都有講嘢。咁但係咧有個僆仔都唔係僆仔啦，而家佢嚟美國嗰陣時就係僆仔咁好彩啦，多謝美國政府啦咁咧就俾到我哋佢個網名叫做洪主席唔知點解叫洪主席啦係咪洪咩維尼小洪個洪啦洪主席佢僆仔嚟嘅，佢音樂家嚟嘅。咁佢咧就即係未成年已經走咗嚟美國，好彩啦。咁嗰陣時我哋亦都有啲嘅政策可以幫到佢。咁聽下佢講嘢啊。
But also the authority of the government mandated by the people. People are the sole shareholder of the state. If people want to, they have every right to change and abolish a system of government, especially when the government was going against the people's will. The people in power should be removed from office.
係啊。
We are in the 21st century,
你睇到
an era of information and communication technology. But the outdated idea of the divine right of government is still rooted on the earth. The Hong Kong Authority has stated clearly that the Hong Kongers are subject to the authority. Can you imagine someone who is not related to you suddenly popping out and forcing you to do something you don't want to? In common sense, that's a crime. Then why would it be acceptable when the government, who is fed by the taxpayers, can control the people against their will by force and fear? Can you believe that primary election is a severe crime? In the US, we believe that government officials should be chosen by the people. The government should be afraid of the people who voted for them. The people should not be afraid of the government. The verdict of The verdict by the Hong Kong authority not only convicted the 45 activists, but also convicted hundreds of thousands of voters in Hong Kong and all the people who want to be represented in the government. It is an overt attack on democracy. The Chinese Communist Party claims that their system is democracy with Chinese characteristics. I agree that there are different types of democracy. Constitutional monarchy is democracy. Presidential democracy is democracy. Parliamentary system is democracy. But if one-party dictatorship is democracy, burgers no longer need bun and meat to be burgers. The CCP reactions to the primary election in Hong Kong is the greatest evidence that the CCP is not democratic at all, and there is no way that we can blame an election, since bullets cannot kill anyone physically like bullets that the CCP used to shoot Hong Kongers. This sentence itself is totally political persecution. You might ask, if I were not running for a campaign, would an autocracy have anything to do with my life? Unfortunately, the answer is yes. One of the defendants in this case is the father of my friend from school in Hong Kong. After the sentencing, my friend called me for more than 3 hours to talk about his frustration. I want to ask about my friend who is a teenager and his father who wants to serve his people. What kind of crime they have committed that they are going to be forced to be separated for years? Political persecution under the CCP's dictatorship is closer to ordinary people than we think. I was taken away and interrogated by the National Security Department in Hong Kong after I posted against the Chinese Communist Party and its supreme leader Xi Jinping at age 15. I was forced to flee to this country 2 years ago alone. If the government is not of the people, for the people, and by the people, people's rights to express themselves would not even be tolerated. Jimmy Lai, a 74-year-old man, was chained like this because he ran newspaper reporting about things that the government does not want people to know about and advocate for the people of Hong Kong. Jimmy Lai is a Catholic. He was forbidden from the Lord's Supper in jail, and the health condition of this old man is declining because he has been denied proper treatment of diabetes. He is jailed alone in a jail cell for 23 hours a day. If the Hong Kong authority is right, why are they afraid of the body and blood of Christ? Why don't they let the people's judgment but not torture to be his extra punishment apart from imprisonment? Therefore, I ask all of you who are listening to have eyes over Hong Kong. Free Hong Kong! Free Hong Kong! Free my candidate! Free my candidate! Free Jimmy Lai! Free Jimmy Lai! Thank you.
非常非常叻仔啊！呢、個係值得我哋讚賞佢嘅。咁希望佢喺度美國咧，亦都可以即係適應到美國新嘅生活，亦都可以好上進咁將來咧回饋翻我哋美國呢個社會。咁仲有咧就係阿單仲偕，佢亦都有發表佢嘅講話，咁佢咧亦都講到佢當時35+嘅情況啦。咁呢啲全部都係歷史記錄嚟嘅，就好似我頭先訪問 PowerBoys 嗰個 chairman 咁，呢啲都係歷史記錄。咁就因為呢啲歷史記錄，我哋就知道好多真相啊。咁你如果你係親共產黨 ，OK， 你認為香港人係做唔啱，係唔啱，咁樣做係唔啱，但係邊忽唔啱嚇，咁要講噶嘛，咁冇理由就咁樣就唔啱啊，就拉咗去坐監，咁又判7年10年咁樣，終身監禁咁樣，你係有冇道理咧？呢樣嘢嚇，最緊要係嚇有冇道理，合唔合理啊嘛？咁你哋話人哋顛覆國家政權邊忽顛覆你國家政權咧？佢鬧你香港班官員就唔係叫做顛覆國家政權，鬧你班官員就係想話俾你呢班官員知，你哋做得唔啱。香港個制度咧其實好古怪立法其實都唔係真真正正嘅三權分立嘅。咁咧香港個制度咧就好似喺行政主導即係行政長官就話事嘅，即係好似所以好多人咧嚟到美國咧都有可能帶住嗰種思維以為美國咧都係行政主導，唔係嘅。美國嘅真真正正三權分立嘅。如果總統講一樣嘢係國會唔啱聽，國會可以推翻去嘅。咁總統國會都啱聽，但係司法即係法官嗰邊，你違咗憲咁，亦都可以司法可以推翻去嘅。咁咧，所以真真正正三權分立咧就係3個 branch 係獨立運作嘅。咁香港唔係嘅喎，香港唔好講共產黨，唔好講共產黨插手嗰筆先啦，淨係個制度咧，你都好似係行政主導啊嘛，即係行政長官咁一個 team，話要做呢啲做呢啲，咁叫立法會咧就去放水啦咁樣。咁立法會咁功能組別嘅立法會啦，係嘛？有啲零票當選嘅議員都有嘅入邊，呢啲你又係拗晒頭即係拗晒頭。點解可以零票當選做議員做埋主席添嗰啲可以即係你成個好古怪嘅一個制度咯。話俾人知香港好民主啫，係嘛？即係嗰陣時咁嘅款其實都唔係民主噶啦但係共產黨都唔能夠接受都要搞你都要搞香港人，都要搞香港，令到香港咧連投票俾立法會議員都冇叫。地區直選地區嗰啲咪香港人自己投票咯，香港人自己投票翻去自己地區嘅議員咁跟住又可以揾翻即係代表性噶嘛，真真正正有代表。我哋呢條村係咪揾個阿頭出嚟嗰個阿頭就係叫議員啦咁我呢條村有啲乜嘢問題，咁同個議員講，議員有辦事處嘅，議員辦事處下邊就做好多唔同嘅工作啦，咁樣去幫嗰度嗰個區人嘅人咧。Hello Nelson， 多謝你條片多謝 Nelson 提供呢條片俾我，因為我今日真係去唔到真係好慘個人之事太多咁咧就搞到我去，我好唔好意思其實係咪因為我都掛住呢班手足噶但係咧咁咧，因為我放棄呢班手足就去咗第二度咧，咁希望我去最慘就係咧，有時咧就係第二度嗰班人咧，好似我嘅存在咧就唔係好重要咁，我覺得所以咧我就好似浪費咗，即係呢個上晝其實我有少少浪費咗我自己嗰個幾個鐘頭嘅青春咁樣咁因為咧即係佢哋唔知道我真係要放棄咗你一班喺荷里活一班手足喺度示威嘅情況我又可以做直播俾更多人知道我哋香港嘅情況啊嘛。咁好彩真係多謝 Nelson 可以俾咁其實有幾個朋友咧都放咗啲相俾我，就係放喺啲群組入邊咯。即係群組有道問題咧，就係我哋少少變咗圍爐取暖，但係放咗呢啲片咧有講咁同埋講咗我哋要公諸於世啊嘛，就好似黎智英話齋要做新聞，我哋自己要做到新聞出嚟。如果我哋自己都做唔到新聞出嚟嘅話咧，咁就 呢個世界就會遺忘咗我哋噶啦。所以我咧好努力㗎。其實 Hong Kong for USA 啊，我組織好多香港人一齊去做一啲好多唔同嘅活動咧，都係想話俾我哋一班共和黨啦，即係我自己有共和黨嘛，梗係同班共和黨人講，我哋香港人係處於一個咩情況咁樣。咁佢哋所以好感動嘅，因為我突然之間有啲共和黨嘅朋友咧send message 俾我話去支持呢個即係呢個47人案。咁即係我真係好感動咁啦。咁就係即係幾感動都冇用啊！得廿希望遲啲再傳出去啦。因為之前嗰節咧，如果而家啱先入嚟嘅朋友，之前嗰節咧，我有係呢啲英文版本嚟嘅。英文版本講關於一啲我哋美國入邊嘅政治犯係點樣。我哋亦都唔可以淨係要求人哋淨係關注香港政治犯啊嘛。咁美國有一班政治犯，你又唔去關注嘅話咧，就人哋唔會理你噶嚇。咁咧，所以即係呢個都係即係互惠啫。我哋繼續去捍衛政治犯啊嘛。我哋政治犯唔應該存在嘅，其實喺呢個世界政治呢樣嘢係唔應該有政治犯存在。政治就係好文明嘅一樣嘢嚟，本來suppose 咁，但係咧一個極權咧，即係只要俾到一啲人權力，跟住俾啲人過多權力，極權啦，咁變咗極權啦。咁我有極權嘅話咧，就我哋啲小市民咧就開始慢慢啲聲音咧就會越嚟越少。所以我哋咧我哋美港天下咧一路咧都係發聲啦。咁有時冇錢就真係唔知點算啦，係嘛？咁有時要諗呢啲嘢，所以導致咧就又搞幾個台出嚟啦。咁個台都努力緊啦，係嘛？我自己希望咧可以每個台都發展得順利我又唔想問人攞錢，我唔係好中意，即係過去咧好多人咧都見我哋個台咧冇乜錢咧，都捐錢俾我哋嘅。咁我其實自己個人咧就唔係好中意咁樣攞錢咯。我自己比較中意咧就係喺做得多即係喺 YouTube 嗰度攞錢，即係廣告費嗰度收錢，或者 X 嗰度做到，跟住咧就喺嗰度收錢，咁營運嚟支持我繼續去做呢樣。其實我本身我自己做印刷，我又有第二啲貼紙嗰啲即刻嘢嚟維持住，但係都唔夠啊嘛。咁希望咧設計咁咯。咁希望最主要就係希望可以做到 YouTube 出糧俾我，哇咁perfect 啦。其實香港好多人都係咁樣啦，咁唔知點解我做嚟做都做唔起。咁咧其實喺美國都發生都係一樣啦，一樣係㗎。喺香港你着錯衫就俾人都俾人鬧啦，係嘛？而家其實喺美國你嗰陣時，而家侵贏咗啫嘛，4年啦，我哋等咗。我哋一班人成班好多唔敢戴呢頂帽出街嘅人足等咗4年啦。呢4年唔係想證明啲乜嘢，淨係想證明俾人哋睇，我哋係啱嘅。我哋係為我哋所居住嘅地方去爭取，係冇錯嘅。但係就係好可惜啦，係嘛？即係叫做都好啦，終於捱過啦，終於等呢4年，終於等到阿侵贏啦。之前冇人夠膽，我就梗係夠膽戴侵帽咯，驚咩你嚟打我傻嘅係嘛？咁但係咧好多人都嗰陣時都唔夠膽戴侵帽，而家開始成個形勢改變咗。成個形勢改變嘅原因即係始終係人性嘅弱點啊。當你嗰樣嘢對與錯係對與錯係基於別人嚟去決定嘅話咧，你就冇原則噶啦我一路都認為 Donald Trump 係啱嘅，Donald Trump 唔係 racist，Donald Trump 唔係法西斯，Donald Trump 唔係嗰個納粹，呢啲全部 如果係納粹，佢係法西斯啊，佢做緊總統點可能俾 Twitter suspend 佢 account？ 好簡單一個道理，竟然咧即係左媒咧就另外一個角度啊，左媒 suppose 係第四權，另外一個用另外一個方式用另外一個邊扭曲事實仲有香港如果你睇中文報紙，你唔睇英文資訊你一定咧就落入左媒嘅資訊裏邊。點解啊？香港譬如話東方星島，仲有咩報紙喺香港？第啲報紙佢嘅翻譯版BCC 都係左，係咪 ？BCC 有中文版 ，New York Times 又係有中文版，佢哋都係左嘅你係根據嗰啲報紙嚟去攞資訊，你唔會知道邊個叫 Charlie Kirk， 你唔會知道邊個叫 Proud Boys， 所以我就開始就介紹 Proud Boys 俾大家認識啦你又唔知道邊個係 Charlie Kirk頭先嗰個創始人 Proud Boys 創始人講 Ben Shapiro， 你又唔知邊個係 Ben Shapiro 係咪？好多呢啲我哋右邊偏右嘅傳媒偏右嘅 KOL 啦，或者而家都Newsmax 都冇人知陰公所以你哋就淨係喺香港嗰啲睇，或者你淨係睇中文報紙嘅咧，就缺乏咗呢方面嘅資訊，真係好。你睇呢方面嘅資訊，即係等於你睇大公文匯嘅啫，冇分別㗎唔好以為咧，我係抱打不平我睇完之後，睇完啲左媒，梗係唔啱，即係你等於班藍絲啫嘛喺度，佢自己覺得佢自己係抱打不平㗎睇完大公文匯，跟住話你哋班叫咩黑暴咁樣，你哋班黑暴搞亂香港咁樣，咁冇乜分別你睇完美國嘅左媒，咁你咪覺得Mega 班友係搞亂美國咯你班法西斯搞亂美國咯，即係會一樣咁嘅道理嘅啫。所以如果你唔喺香港，你唔睇大公文匯，你嚟美國你就唔好睇 New York Times、LA Times 嗰啲去攞資訊一定要揾翻英文嘅。如果你話哎呀英文都唔知，你咪 X 而家最好啦X 又唔知，咁咪我哋而家好有龔小霞啦龔小霞做好多片，大家去支持下佢啦咁講廣東話嘛，廣東話其實都係少噶啦，廣東話都算少，因為你加拿大嗰啲 RFA 嗰啲又係嘅，咁知啲唔知啲又係嘛，又係嗰啲知啲唔知啲嗰啲嚟嘅，所以咧又係難搞噶。所以香港人點解會分裂喺Trump呢個陣營裏邊，喺呢個美國點解佢哋會撐，反而走去撐何錦麗嘅有啲，就因為佢得嘅資訊唔完全啊嘛，佢睇中文就一定死得噶啦齋睇中文嗰班就一定死得噶，因為一定係錯，一定係大公文匯嚟美國版嘅大公文匯，所以咧一定要睇龔小霞。如果即係我如果有時間，我做多啲片啦。如果我多啲人支持我又做多啲片，將Charlie Kirk 佢哋Ben Shapiro 咁嗰班全部好多將佢翻譯為廣東話咁播翻俾大家睇但係真係有限資源咯我自己咁我會努力啦，盡量啦，又唔好喺度賴咁唔好賴人，自己做得唔好唔好賴人唔好做咗共產黨咁樣專賴人或者做咗左膠專賴人。OK 咁咧而家咧再單仲偕前立法會議員民選嘅有認受性嘅，所以咧就睇下佢講乜
Thank you. Please allow me to speak a few words in Cantonese, in my mother tongue. I come from Hong Kong. I was born in Hong Kong. So I would like to say something in Cantonese first. 我都有份開站嘅， 60萬人嗰個投票站呢，我係200個站裏面其中一個。呢度當中大概2/3至3/4嘅人我都識，大部分都係我好朋友。而家大家咧都知道佢哋最早嗰個可能可以喺明年嘅年春季可以出到嚟，最遲嗰個就係周家成，32年先出嚟，仲遲過戴耀廷。戴耀廷係參領過發起個佔中，亦都入過獄，好過識，亦都發起過區議會贏300席，後來當然唔止贏300席，要400幾席。2020年嘅7月11號做初選，國安法係2020年6月30號夜晚11點頒布，成個法律唔單止係針對一般性嘅所謂國家安全，亦都係十分之針對呢件案件。當日嗰個政治事務局局長亦都喺初選前有喺立法會講過，初選有機會違反國安法。但係大家明白到否決財政預算案係立法會議員嘅權利。我做立法會議員嘅時候，冇10次都有8次否決過財政預算案，無差別。基本法冇講唔得，你做得立法會議員，你接受呢個預算案，你就可以否決，或者贊成。所以呢一個案件基本上係一個冤獄，好似長毛老婆咁講，一日都嫌多，一日都係冤獄。呢件案件唔單止改變呢47位人士嘅一生，亦都改變咗700萬人嘅命運，因為從此之後，大家清楚知道，香港已經冇一國兩制，香港已經唔會係從前嘅香港，香港冇咗一國兩制，亦都冇民主。2020年初選之後，後尾個選舉都係冇咗，後來嘅選舉係變咗一個由港人治港變咗愛國者治港。立法會議員能唔能夠參選，係要先審閱過、審批過，然之後先可以參選。我哋希望呢班人士能夠早日出獄，我哋更加希望能夠釋放黎智英。黎智英呢幾日先至開始辯論自辯，仲有2件案件，除咗黎智英，仲有明年5月開始審判嘅支聯會。There's actually 2 more trial cases. One is Jimmy Lai, and the other is the Alliance for Democratic and Patriotic Movement of China, led by 周幸彤、何俊仁同埋李卓人。They will also be in trial next May. 我哋每年都要記住今日判案嘅日子，我哋亦都要記住堅持下去，不停咁樣為佢哋發聲，直至到最後一位能夠出到嚟。光復香港，時代革命。
多謝單仲偕再講一講當日嘅情況啦。咁同埋成個過程，其實我有揾阿毓民，所以毓民過嚟講嘅，但係唔知佢得唔得閒。我 message 咗佢，可能佢而家忙緊，所以佢都未得閒去睇 WhatsApp。咁係啊，佢未得閒，佢開都未開睇啊。咁我想揾佢講一講咯。咁成個佢喺節目度已經講咗㗎啦。係啊，仲有如果你想知道好多嘢咧，其實喺即係好多都有好多平台知道香港情況嘅。 咁但係美國情況咧就真係要靠阿龔小霞、阿袁爸爸同埋我啊，所以大家咧記得咧就撳個鐘仔。仲有頭先我話咧，我需要即係好多人嚟支持啦，好多我唔係好想就係就咁啲人俾錢我啦，咁樣嗰種形式咧，咁我所以咧我就喺 description 下邊咧就有條 link 嘅，叫做 Coinbase 嘅。Coinbase 咧，你如果你去 sign up 咧，用我下邊條 link sign up 咧，你就有20蚊嘅 Bitcoin 啊。咁你有20，我又有20蚊啊。咁最多就俾咗200蚊 Bitcoin 啫，唔係好多。咁但係 Bitcoin 係升緊噶嘛，我亦都準備緊咧，即係講一集咧，攞一集嚟講關於虛擬貨幣嘅。咁所以大家咧就記得去訂閱，唔單止美港天下，尤其是嗰個Real Dennis LX 美港天下，即係我自己個頻道啊，希望大家都訂閱佢啦，訂閱好多啲人睇，我就有廣告收。即係我唔係啲不食人間煙火嘅人咁，我唔係老豆剩落大把，我可以做呢啲咁嘅嘢，但係就係條氣唔順啊嘛。你俾即係如果就係如果唔夠人出聲啊，幫香港人嘅話咧，咁香港人咧就會俾人遺忘噶啦。所以就呢個黎智英講噶，唔係我講噶。咁大家拜唔拜吓？咁記住喺description 下邊咧有條 link， 如果你話有興趣開始想睇下啲虛擬貨幣點樣發展咧，咁你去 subscribe 咗，咁你有20蚊 Bitcoin， 我又有20蚊 Bitcoin， 咁希望就喺啲 Bitcoin 度咧就賺多少，咁唔係好多啫，最多都係200蚊嘅 Bitcoin 啫嘛咁而家仲97000嗰頭啦，好似97000、98000嗰頭啦，曾經去過10萬跟住希望再飆上去啦。咁好多虛擬貨幣嗰個成個架構好多人都唔信嘅，好多人都唔明啦。咁我就仲喺度整理緊嗰個比較花少少時間。咁希望又有娛樂性又要有娛樂性又唔好介悶，好似講書咁悶死人啦，係咪先咁希望記住大家真係好需要大家幫手 share 啫因為 YouTube 真係都唔知道我得罪咗佢啲乜嘢即係佢一定要逼我做廣告嗰啲咁我唔會同佢做廣告啦，做都做 X 嗰邊啦。咁希望大家繼續支持我嘅頻道，我哋下次再見非常多謝Nelson 添提供條片 ，OK。